Yeah,
And
true.
you get to realize it
True.
when you go through certain moments in life and you're like, do you really love?
And I said, I can explain. And she's like, are you married? Yes or no? And I said, yes. And then she said, pack your bags and come back home.
If I look at from the time that we got married, right? Her mother then went on, passed on. And then immediately after that, I had to take over her brother as a father, you know?
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Speak to Inspire, Motivate, and Empower. I'm still your host, Lucia Katwani, and joining me in studio today is our lovely couple, Ndivhu and Pastor Bae.
I was supposed to clap hands. Clap hands for yourself. Say.
Okay.
I thought he
That
was going to
time.
say no. He never claps hands for himself. He always says no.
Welcome,
That's the first
guys.
time to everything. So
I see.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to your own space.
No, this is your space at this time.
Yeah, man. Lovely to have you guys here. So, yeah, today we just want to know about you guys. We just want to know about your love story.
Do we have a
I
love
hope
story?
you guys are ready.
Love is gone long time ago. There's the love
no
part.
way.
Just say your story.
Your story.
Yeah, because the love part,
Pastor Bae.
Ihambile, 15 years
There's no
later.
way. There's no way, guys.
that's been too long, eh? Like right now, you know, they say that when you're married, right, there comes a point wherein you just hold on to commitment, not to the love aspect.
I
So we
disagree.
are holding on to the
No
commitment part now. So
I disagree. I'm such a huge fan of love. So I have to disagree with you guys.
Yeah,
There's no way.
we'll give it to you so that you
Okay.
still hold on to it. Eh? We don't want you to give up on love because of us.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Before we get into the real tea, who is Ndivhu T and who is Pastor Bae?
Okay. Thank you so much for the invite. I am honored. Who is Ndivhu T? Ndivhu T is Ndivhu T. Well, I'm just a girl that grew up in Venda, Limpopo.
Okay.
I grew up with just a single mom, with no father in the house. It was me, my sister, and my brother. But then we lost our sister, and my mom passed away 2012, and then it was just me, him, and Shudu.
Okay.
And I'm a mom of, so it's a tricky question for me, but I'm a mom of 4 kids,
Okay.
boys. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have a girl. I'm the only girl.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, that's it.
my turn.
Yes, it's your
Oh, okay. So for me, name is Shudu. You called me Pastor Bae, formerly known as Pastor Bae, but now Shudu.
Okay.
But I still accept it either way because it's difficult to get rid of certain names, you know.
Yeah, true.
Sometimes you're still called by your childhood names.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shudu. I was basically born in Venda, Chakuma to be specific.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a son, I'm a father, I'm a husband. There's a lot to say about me. So it's difficult for me to just be specific, but let me just say, I grew up in the villages, and grew up with both parents still alive even today. I've got 4 siblings. And in a nutshell, I think that's me. Married for 15 years, pretty much, and 2 biological children and other 2 children that fostered. And I think that's me in a nutshell. Unless if I left anything out that you will ask me through the interview.
Okay. All right. Lovely, guys. So how did you guys meet?
Go on. I know you like telling the
I
stories.
forgot.
Go on.
All right, we met at church.
Okay.
So he was an usher at church, and I was going there for the first time. And when I was by the gate, I'm like, oh, so they've got like real angels, because he was dressed in white.
Wow.
Yeah, he was wearing white shoes, white pants,
Yeah,
white shirt,
yeah,
white.
yeah.
He was even having what's that thing? Pull over. white pullover on top of a shirt.
Wow.
Yeah, he was looking like an angel, and not in a good way. Ne? When I say an angel,
It was good. For me. And the
For
mere
you, it
fact
was
that she
good.
fell for it, then it was good enough, right? So,
maybe I didn't have a good taste. You never know. But yeah, I got there. He welcomed me, and here we are. Just from hi, welcome to the church. He took my hand back, and I followed, put me on a chair, and later on, they had announced that there was netball, what. I joined, and he was forced to now come and be a sponsor so that he can get my attention.
Okay.
And shame he did. I mean, from white clothes to being a netball sponsor, we are here now.
Okay.
do you think if people could, like, let's say, reference your stories based on how many times you have said this thing, and they could reference, they would find the story still the same?
I think so.
I think it has changed multiple times. But
No, the story is still the same. The point is we met at church. He became a sponsor at netball team, which I was part of. He sponsored, he bought clothes, and that's how he got my attention. Whenever we would have meetings, he would come, you see?
All right.
And then when we walk back to the flat, he will walk with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to add on?
nah, I think it's fine.
What's your story?
The only disagreement I have is the white the white part. You know,
What's wrong with the white
I'd
part?
like to believe that I've always had style. Yes, I was wearing white, but I don't think in a bad way. But
You also had a gold chain and a gold watch.
that one is a lie. Like I had them, but I was not wearing them on that day.
Oh my God. At least he says he had them. So
I
you know
had
where this
them.
is
Yeah,
going.
yeah. No, I had them, but yeah.
Would you
The watch
would
was.
you wear star white like now? Just
It
You
will
stop.
it will take a lot. It will take a lot for me to wear it, but
Yeah, but he used to be those ones that would buy white skinny jean as well.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Ooh.
So he
I don't
loved
think I
white.
would. Just to maybe if depending on the occasion,
Yeah.
I would. But let me not say never, because
Yeah.
they say never say
Yeah.
never. But yeah,
Okay, all right. So was it love at first sight for you?
for me, I'd say lust at first sight.
Oh.
I'd say that because I carry when you are a man and you're still young, you're also controlled by your let me say your feelings. It's feelings related in a sense of you see a lady that is beautiful, that she has everything that you would say you like in a woman. So I think it was more like lust at first sight. I didn't even know what love meant at that point. So I threw the word around multiple
Yeah, and you
times.
said you love me.
Yeah, you know when you're young, like it's
Men.
after. I think, and I don't think
At that
it's a
time,
men
it was
issue,
love,
right?
maybe.
I don't think it's a men issue. People. This is me and maybe my opinion, but I don't think a lot of people understand the meaning of love. I think it's we use it loosely.
Yeah,
And
true.
you get to realize it
True.
when you go through certain moments in life and you're like, do you really love this person? And then you get to find out the real answer afterwards.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, so you went there and made the first move and she was like, yay. Or for you, was it something you had to think about and you're like,
I was hoping you don't ask me that. I was happy that you
She
only
was
asked
an
it.
easy person to win.
No,
Very easy.
I was not there for love. I was not looking for men.
Yeah.
I was also not there for church or for God.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there for an ex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was there for an ex, and I thought if I get him, then I'll make the ex jealous.
Oh.
Can't he? He's gonna end up being my husband. So,
And here you are
so it was
today.
not love at first sight. Now,
Okay. Yeah, guys. Wow. Okay. So you guys dated and you got married. How was that journey like for you? Going to dating, get to know each other, your likes, dislikes, and you get married.
No, maybe answer it because I answered the last one. I was the first one to answer the last one.
How long did it take you guys to date before getting married?
okay, so we dated 4 months. We were in honeymoon. It was beautiful. You he couldn't separate us. And 4 months into the relationship, he then proposed.
Okay.
But he wanted it to be, he called it a promise ring. I was like, I don't believe in promise ring. If you're giving me a ring, it means you want to marry me. G. That's it. But he kept saying promise and whatever. But I would say we got engaged 4 months into the relationship. And then 4 months after that, we got married. So everything happened within less than a year. We were already married. No lobola, no introduction to parents, whatever. So yeah, so we didn't take time to know each other.
Okay.
But then I also don't believe in that. I don't believe you can ever know a person, because even today,
true.
the one that I'm sitting next to is not the man that I met 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not the man that he was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. You know, like every time a person changes and evolves. Yeah. So it was less than a year we were already married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys got married and no one knew?
No, we decided to we wanted it to be a secret. But unfortunately, it didn't stay.
But it's a good thing. Marriage is a good thing. Why keep it a secret?
Because we didn't do it the right way.
Oh, the
right
right way.
Yes. So, but with us, it was because, so when I joined the church, because I ended up joining the church because obviously he was part of the church. So he was part of the leadership. I became the leader of ushering, the ushering team. So I think 2 or 3 months into the relationship, we started doing Fat and Seth. The church found out. They called us and they said, it's not allowed. You can't do this. You can't stay together. So next week, please come up with the decision whether we cut you off or you find your place and you just date normally. So the following week, we went back with a marriage certificate to say, you don't have to separate us. You don't have to cut us off from the leadership. We are now married. And they were obviously shocked to us. I think we were kids, man. Like, I don't think, we were not thinking straight, because we were like, we love each other. We want to be together forever. He can't afford to pay lobola now. No one would even agree, because he had already thrown it to his family that I want to get married. And they're like, no, you're still too young. I was 19. He was 29. I mean, he was 21. He's not that old. He was 21. So we then said, let's just get married. So we went to Home Affairs, signed, paid 70 rands, came back with a marriage certificate. And then ta-da. And they were angry. We didn't understand. Why are they angry? That was the pastors. And they then asked for our parents' cell phone numbers, because remember, we left them in Limpopo.
Yeah.
We had this side. So they said, obviously the parents will feel like the church this side decided to marry us without their consent. So then they did the honor of announcing to our parents.
And how did they take it?
You can answer.
No, it's no. The more I talk about the story, the more I get over it. But I think it was a tough moment at that particular point. Yeah. I think back then, the more I think they always say that when you talk about something, you get like it stops hurting you in a sense, right? Because you've spoken about it multiple times. But I think back then, if I were to think from that moment, I'd say it was very tough and very difficult, because my dad did not want anything to do with me anymore, for like a year or so, or less, I can't recall. And the mother was just shocked, but mothers are much more easier to
understanding.
Correct.
Well.
So it was easier on that regard. But eventually, I think we got over it. And from her side, I think the mother was just upset for few days.
Yeah, I guess she couldn't wait to get rid of me, because it only took like maybe 2 days, because she called and she said, are you married? And I said, I can explain. And she's like, are you married? Yes or no? And I said, yes. And then she said, pack your bags and come back home. So I packed my bag. The next day I went back home. I left him alone. He was waiting for the phone call. No one is calling. No one is saying anything on his side. So I got home. I explained the situation and she understood. And then I think after 2 days, I came back to him. And he was still waiting for the phone call.
Sure.
Yeah. But on his side, it was tough.
It was tough.
Yeah, I think also because he comes from a family home, because I come from a very toxic background, but with him it was like a mom and a dad, and it was a good family structure. So they didn't understand why would he do that. You know, it's like he became a black sheep of the family. But with my side, Shem, I didn't have any issues.
So it wasn't a matter of age or tradition. Was it?
I would say
a
both.
Both.
Yeah, because we were young and tradition as well. Like
Oh, okay.
our families didn't know each other.
Yeah.
So it was just like, now you're bringing a stranger, you give the stranger our son name, all these things. But I guess the Bible says all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. And I think fast forward maybe 8 months later or so, they accepted me.
Okay.
And everything became easier.
But I had to go and apologize at home. We had a meeting at home, and the pastor was called from home. And, as a mediator between the family, me and the, let me say between me and the family. And the meeting, it was rough. It was rough. When I went into the meeting, it took place at church. But eventually, I think things were sorted. But then on one condition, you needed to get married the formal way and formalize things. And at that particular time, our affordability was not saying yes. It was saying no the whole time. But we had to do it because of obedience.
Yeah.
So we had to do that.
Sure. So during the whole process, the situation, how it was like, did it give you guys any, like, did you maybe have, doubts like, oh my God, maybe we should just call everything off. Let's just stop this and, continue with our lives separately.
Not that I can think of. I think infatuation towards each other took over, in a sense of that's the only thing that we focused on at that particular time. So I don't think, if I can think back, I don't think there was ever a moment wherein I sat down personally and say that I need to do, I need to turn things around. Because I remember my mother even called and said, separate, we'll pretend like none of this happened. Send her away, let her go and stay by herself, then until such a time wherein you will do things right. And I said, no, that is not happening. So I don't think there was ever a point that I sat down and be like, nah, what about you?
You were crazy in love.
Wow.
You had tasted the chocolate.
Wow.
But yeah, I think it was just still too fresh. So we were very much in love. We didn't even understand why.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Why are you so angry?
Love was just blinding you from everything that was happening.
Yeah, it was.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Sticking by each other even, through tough times. So you guys, you get married and you continue living together, but now you're living as husband and wife. How is that like? Like, was there ever a time where it kicked in that, oh, I'm somebody's wife, I'm somebody's husband now, and we have to build life together?
I think for me it was easier, but I always say that women are groomed to be wives from a very young age.
Yeah,
how we
true.
play and everything, the things that we are told at home. So for me it was an easy transition. I didn't have any struggles or challenges per se, but when you are obviously staying with another person, there will always be challenges. We had disagreement even from just as little as, I love making this example, wherein he found me cooking eggs using a fork and he had a problem with it. What do you mean? He's like, no.
Use a fork.
He said, no, you must use a spoon, And I'm like, no, that's when you get to realize that, it's actually two people coming together. And he has his own way of doing things from what he was taught at home.
Yes.
And I have my way. I've never used, even today, I've never used a spoon to cook eggs. It doesn't, it's too foreign for me. But he said, no, you can't use a fork and what, But challenges, there were a lot. We had a lot of challenges. You get to realize that marriage is not pap and place. It's not just my husband, my wife. I think that's what he meant when he said, you then get to learn the real meaning of love. It's not the feelings you feel, the stomach butterflies, when you see a person, oh, my husband, it's waking up when you've got those problems and still say, I choose you.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue choosing you.
True.
But it was not an easy journey. I don't think it is ever meant to be easy. Even when you read the Bible, way that they describe marriage, even the forgiveness and all that, you get to realize that it was never meant to be easy. But besides that, staying with another person can never be easy. That's why siblings fight, mother and children fight. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to add on?
No. So for me, I think, a lot has happened, right? A lot has happened from the time that we got married. And I think there are certain things that if I look back and I'll be like, certain things happened too early, besides the marriage itself, right? And I kind of feel like, when you are young and you are in love, right? You become naive in a sense because you overlook certain things that you're not supposed to be overlooking. And sometimes you tend to believe that I'm grown, and yet you are not particularly grown. It's easier if you ask any even a 10-year-old, if you ask them now, are you matured? They will say, yeah, I'm matured, because that's what they believe, right? So even I, at that particular time, I believed that I'm ready for this thing, I believed that I've gone through the most in life in terms of I've experienced the dating life. I am ready. I'm a man now. I can do this thing. Kanti, you have not really gone through certain things until you face them head to head. And I'm talking about now, if I look at from the time that we got married, right? Her mother then passed on. And then immediately after that, I had to take over her brother as a father, at 24, 23, or whatever the case is. He's a teenager. And after that, I think 1 year or something along those lines, 1 year later, I had to become a father to my own biological son. And mind you, growing up, there are things that I told myself that these are not part of my future or my goals. And that includes getting married. That includes having children. It was not part of my to-do list. I was nowhere close to thinking about that line of things. So now here I am. I'm married. I am starting my I think when we got married, I was still maybe starting my first few months into the company as a permanent employee. And at that time, so the salary was not that, conducive. And I'm starting my career. I'm juggling the marriage, which is still young. I've become a father to 2 children, right? And trust you me, even though I've maybe I didn't vocalize it enough, but I believe that played around with my mentality. Like, certain things you get to see them when you look back and be like, I really was not thinking straight in that particular time. And I think that's the effect that I got to. And, the marriage itself, because marriage on its own, like she said, as simple as a fork, cooking with a fork, like you get to realize that these things are very important in marriage, things that you are not supposed to be fighting about.
You
like,
think it's
just
minor, a small thing,
but it's not particularly the fork that is the problem.
Yeah.
It's, what do you call it? Now I had a word that skipped my mind now. But like there is you and her. Personalities, let's call it personalities for lack of a better word. So personalities are fighting. It's a personality in terms of her feeling that my personality has to come out in this particular way. This is how I do things. And it's me on the other side. So the two are clashing.
Yeah.
And it's not the fork that is the problem. It's the people that are the problem. It's the way of doing things. It's how you grow up and so on and so forth. So those things are interfering against each other. So those are some of the challenges that I had to go through that really turned me upside down.
And how has that shaped you, looking back and, the clash of personalities, and how has that experience shaped you?
Well, it was tough, and it came with a lot of experiences that when one looks back, you'll be like, I'm not proud of this, the certain things you sit down by yourself and you're like, maybe I should have done it differently. Maybe I should have, acted differently in certain situations, because if you look at a situation and you look at the results of the situation, it's those type of things that make you feel like maybe I should have done things differently. But then again, you cannot take anything away from experience in life. Certain things you experience them, and then they make you better. They make you the kind of person that you are today. And I want to believe that, when you look at certain things in life, we are quick to say that's a taboo, right? But when you look back or you look at something intensively, you get to realize that this is a lesson. And had it not happened through you, had it not come through you, maybe the other person, had it gone through somebody else, they wouldn't have been able to handle it, or whatever the case is. So I look back at my experiences in life and say, I'm not proud of this and this and this and this, but I know for a fact that I'm sitting here today thinking differently or doing differently because of the experiences that I've gone through, nice or not. But that's what I believe in terms of who I am today.
Okay. So how did you guys handle disagreements when you guys don't see eye to eye? How did you handle that? And can you say that how you handled it before is also different from how you handle things now?
Hey, I would say it's, when they say marriage, it's a school that you never graduate in. You actually get the certificate first. I think it never ends. One day you can communicate very well. The next you don't. Next day you have a conflict. A week goes by without talking to each other. It happens. And for me, I think it's part of life. And I don't think you can ever learn enough.
Yeah.
And sometimes it also goes with the anger. He can make me angry now and I'm able to say, nah, babe, it's okay. Let's, tomorrow he makes me angry and I don't want to hear anything from him. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do 1, 2, 3. But I would say we are in a much better place than we were a decade ago. Yeah, I think also it comes with the age. I mean, there are many things that we look at today and you're like, we shouldn't have fought over that. We shouldn't have argued, but it comes with the age. And I think when you grow, some things don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Can't believe I'm the one speaking like that, like I'm grown. I speak like those older women, like when I was younger. But I would say with conflicts, Jem, I don't want to lie, it differs. Yeah, it depends. Are we fighting over a donut?
Yeah.
Are we fighting over a chair? It differs.
Yeah. And you guys work together. Like you see each other every day. You're always around each other.
Yeah.
And in terms of like work related, if you don't agree on something, then how do you handle that? It doesn't affect your marriage or
No, I think you cannot look at conflict in silo. That's unfortunate, and especially for two people that let's say for two married people. Unfortunately, certain things when you have disagreements about the business part, they tend to affect even your marriage as such. To be able to separate the two, sometimes it becomes a bit difficult, and it does have impact in terms of our well-being as a couple, because certain things, unfortunately, I'm a firm believer that it's not everything that you will agree on, right? And in as much as we spoke about marriage and said there's two people that are coming together, two people that think differently, two people that act differently, and so on and so forth. It's also the same with the business. The fact that we have got different ideas, right? We have got different takes on things. And unfortunately, sometimes it's not just about the conflict itself.
Yeah.
When you invest yourself into something, that's where your passion also lies, in a sense of what you have passion on. It's that which drives you and drives the way you act and drives the way you do things and so on and so forth, because you're passionate about something. So the moment you are passionate about, let's say, an idea that you have, right, you would do anything to defend the idea that you have.
True.
Not because you want to hurt the next person, but unfortunately, hence I started saying the statement by saying, you cannot take conflict in silo. In other words, even if, depending on the passion that you apply in that particular idea, sometimes it ends up being an impact to your marriage without meaning it to. Sometimes we are able to separate and say, okay, this stays this side. It's a business disagreement, but most times it becomes very tricky to be able to separate the two.
So, what's that one thing that you can say that you have learned from each other through this journey of love?
I would say is that, okay, from my side, can't speak for him, especially on this one that I'm about to say, is that what I've learned is that I don't see myself without him. I don't think I can survive without him, you know. Maybe also because we've been together for a very long time, and with us, like you said, that we work together.
Yeah.
He doesn't have friends, so wherever he is, I'm there. If we're going to buy bread, we buy together. To a point that if he's watching soccer, I never know what to do with myself. You know, I just roam around. I make him angry because I'll just make some stupid comments. He gets so mad when he's watching soccer. But I think, like, there's a time, for the very first time, he left me this year and he went to Venda with the kids. And at some point, at first, I was very excited that, oh my goodness, I'm going to be alone. I didn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't even operate the remote on TV. Like, I just sat there and waited for 2 days to pass. But I think, yeah, for me, it's that I don't see me without him. Yeah, I think he completes me. He makes me very mad. He makes me angry. He makes me very happy. I love being around him and I love being with him.
Beautiful.
Like, even when I go out with my friends, you know, I can't wait to come back. You know, and
Yeah.
he will also be texting, "Are you coming back now? You know, what's happening?" Sometimes it's, "Did you arrive safe?" But I know it's, "When are you coming back?" You know. But yeah, for me, it's that.
Shoo. Yeah. Pastor Bae.
Yeah. What a question. Okay, so what I've learned through her, I think there is a lot, right, that I've learned through her. I think the one most important thing that I always mention is the heart that she has, the heart of the forgiveness. I think that's one thing that I know she's very much strong in. I don't know if ever anyone can be strong in forgiveness, but I guess let me just say so, because it's one thing that stands out. She's got a beautiful heart, like very caring and very loving at the same time.
She's a marshmallow.
Yeah, you can say that. But I think above all, I've learned patience, you know, because days are not the same. And I think there are moments that, you know, she gets the worst out of me. And I feel like what kind of a person would think like this? What kind of a person would behave like this? But I've learned patience, you know, and I know that I sit here today and I've learned a lot from my marriage, from her as a person. I've learned a lot from the things that we have gone through. And I think I've become a better person because of maybe the patience, the forgiveness, the love, and so on and so forth. So I would say that.
Okay. Do you guys have love languages?
I do.
Have they changed? Have they evolved? You know,
I do. Even though they are not fulfilled, but but I do.
When you're asking that question, I'm just remembering that I think we spoke about it. It was 2 months
Yeah,
ago when we were taking a walk.
Yeah.
And shame, I wrote down. I don't even remember. Because he was naming them one by one. I was writing down. I was so sure that I'm going to do them. But did you fulfill yours, the list that I gave you?
Well, I keep stumbling, but I
guess you try.
don't forget. If there's one thing about me, is that I may not say it, but I will keep it in mind. I may not do it, but I have it in mind, right? That this is
Yeah,
what
and
I'm
that doesn't
supposed to be
count.
do. No, it doesn't count because I like, you know, when you the thing is, when two people are involved, right? There is what you're doing and there's what I'm doing, right? And there's what you're expecting and what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
So there are all these factors that we need to consider. Now, if I do something, let's say to her, and I do something, I'm acting. It's a positive action, right? because automatically as a human being, you've got this that you want to see fulfilled. Most often than not, you disregard the minor things that are happening because you have got bigger things. Even if like you're doing something different from what you want, but you know for a fact that it's adding value. But because there's this that is not being done, and not that is a fault of a person, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that in most cases you find that this is much more important to you, right? And the other person is not doing this, but they're doing other things. But because this is not being done, then you end up being frustrated and on all these things. And that happens to me too, because I would be expecting this, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it's not being done, and I
Yeah.
get frustrated because
Yeah.
that is not being done. So yes, I do have love languages that I believe they make me happy. Some of them are being done, yes. And some of them I have to ask for them. But yeah, I do. You didn't ask which ones, but I'll just say yes.
What's my love language? I know it's not my interview, but I just want to hear one.
Why do you want to know?
I just want to. I can you say some you're fulfilling. Maybe
Well-
I have the least and none of them.
Well, it's not a lot, right? It's not a lot that she has. I think food is one of the love languages. And I think the being listened to, I think she likes being listened to. And, a positive validation, I don't want to call it validation, but for lack of a better word, I think she appreciates that. And what
You
else
don't
am
have
I
to say
missing?
all of them.
No, I'm trying to think if there's one maybe important one that I'm missing. That I think the most of the ones that I'm speaking about, it's what like I'm struggling with myself in terms of fulfilling them, because I, as you can tell, I talk a lot, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I get caught up in talking than
Okay.
listening. So
Okay.
I'm not a good listener.
Oh.
I'm a good speaker. Or let me not say speaker, talker, because now speaker can mean a lot of things. So I'd say that.
Okay. Must do emceeing.
I used to, but back in my days. Right now, I don't even know what makes me happy anymore. I honestly.
As long as you are around your wife and kids.
Yeah, I think family makes me happy.
Yeah.
I think I live for family. I live for, like, there are sacrifices that I make on a daily basis, right? That are meant for the family. And sometimes I sacrifice things that I'm not supposed to be sacrificing, because I think I tend to, I get my priorities upside down sometimes, and unintentionally so.
So how is it like being parents? How do you how do you tackle everything together? It's work this side, it's family, it's marriage, and then it's you two as individuals.
You know, when we met, he said he didn't want to have kids. And I said, bingo, I also don't want, but I didn't mean it. I was lying. I wanted to be a mom, but, and now it's like 11 years later of being parents. And I'm just like, oh boy, you were right. This thing ain't easy. Like, being parents, like, especially because we're so busy, we feel like we don't have enough time,
Okay.
for the kids. And sometimes they do complain as well. Like, come play, they love playing. Come play with us. We try, but I feel like it's never enough. Like this weekend, I was even trying to console each other, and I said, our parents never spend time with us. Like, they never. Because if I can remember the time that I spent with my mom, it will be when everybody's watching Generations or soapies on TV.
Yeah, true.
In the morning, they go to work, come back, cook, watch TV. That's it. There's never, oh, mommy, I'm not feeling well. But with our kids, like, hi, guys, we're doing enough, Shem.
Shoot, yeah.
Like, sometimes, yes, I feel like I'm not doing enough. But I also feel like I'm the best mom.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not easy to juggle marriage, business, and kids. One will always fall off a bit.
Yeah, but you try and find ways, all the time to make it work.
Yeah, but it's beautiful and challenging at the same time, because like these people that you have brought here on earth without their consent, you're supposed to make them happy. You're supposed to provide for them. When they're not okay, they expect you to jump. It's like, let me not talk too much, but yeah.
Do you want to add, Pastor Bae?
Let's see. Being a parent, it's tough, eh? This is something that I now I know why I did not want to have kids.
Yeah.
Like
I should have listened.
hey, it's tough. It's tough, especially for me because I don't like playing too much. Like I don't like games and all those things. I'm not a fan of those things. But like it's a constant fight. Come play, do this, do that. But I tend to feel like at the moment we are struggling a bit. I guess that's why she said that last week we were talking about it because it's a struggle at the moment. It's trying to get the business up and running and because currently this is our bread and butter, the business and maybe other businesses as well. But I think I used to be a 9-to-5 before. So now we are fully focused on business. So this is our livelihood. And unfortunately, as you said, certain things tend to take the back burner. And unfortunately, at times it gets to be the kids, because they want to spend time with mom and dad. You have to be involved in terms of their schoolwork and so on and so forth. And sometimes you barely find the time to be able to do it because you're supposed to be fully focused or fully involved in the business. So yeah, I think it's a struggle at the moment, a struggle that we are trying to find ways around. And hopefully in the near future, we'll say it's a thing of the past wherein we are now able to manage all the things properly. But I get to believe at the same time that in everything in life, there is development stages, right? Wherein you have to get to different phases. And when you get to different phases in your life, then you're able to do better on other things. It's sort of, it's a pull and push kind of situation wherein this one is pulling, this one is pushing. And you get to a point wherein at some point, certain things will be getting more attention and certain things will be getting lesser attention. And I hope that at some point, we'll have more time to be able to spend with the family, but we are trying our best.
Okay. So business related, you used to be a 9-to-5. So how did you guys come to a conclusion to say, you know what, okay, I'm dropping this and we are now going to do business together?
Well, it was not a decision. It was not a decision as such.
The way you saying it.
Yeah. Hey.
They're like, I know.
Yeah, it was not a decision. It was it was if for us Christians, we like spiritualizing everything as Christians. We would say that it's divine appointment. But the truth of the matter is that I was fired. Not fired. Hey, fired is a strong word. I was retrenched because the company was going through major changes. So unfortunately, I was impacted as one of the people that left the organization. Okay. And then unfortunately it meant that we have to then focus on business. And besides that, I think to be fair, I was no longer there in the 9-to-5. Okay. I was no longer there because before I was retrenched, I had already put in a resignation. Oh. So before I knew about the retrenchment, I had already put in a resignation 2 months before because I felt that it's not healthy for me and it's not something that I want to be doing for the rest of my life. So then it meant that I have to then be involved in business full time.
All right. So for couples considering into going, into business together, what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say maybe start. I'll then say mine because I've been speaking a lot. Okay, I can speak if you don't.
It's like you were testing me. Nah. You know that thing of saying when there's a visitor, do you want some food?
I've already figured it out what I want to say.
Okay, say it.
I think for me, one thing for sure is it would be patient, right? Patience, let me say, because I believe there's something that we take for granted. We just believe that everything will work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. It's true, but it also has to do with the effort that you have to put in as well. And I tend to believe that as a couple, maybe some businesses are easier, but I tend to believe, as I indicated earlier, that we will see things differently.
Yeah.
Right? We would behave differently in certain
Yeah.
situations. And I kind of feel like sometimes it's easier for me to point out the bad that she's doing or the bad decisions that she's making, you know? It's easier for me to do that. But at the same time, without realizing maybe the situation that she finds herself to be able to make that decision or her thought process in that particular instance. But at the same time, hence I speak about what patience, to say, be patient with each other. And yeah, some days, and patience does not mean disregarding, right? Because sometimes you feel like, you're patient, but you're letting a person get away with rubbish, you know? If certain things, and rubbish may be a strong word, but what I'm trying to say is that a bad decision, somebody's making a bad decision and you're like, or they're doing something wrong and you're like, I'm patient. I'm patient. I am understanding. But if something needs to be called out, it needs to be called out,
true.
you know, and you need to call it out. And whether it's your husband, whether it's your wife, you need to call out certain things because, like I said, sometimes when you're a human being, you don't tend to see things, and especially if you're involved in a situation, you don't get to see things from a different eye. And it's another person that is there that will be able to tell you that, no, but that one, you're not doing it right. Even if you think you are, but you're not doing it right. So a lot of patience, a lot of understanding at the same time.
Okay. Ndivhu?
No comment. Like, yeah, he said it all. Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys were to give your marriage or your love journey a tagline or a motto, what would it be?
Roller coaster. Yeah.
You're even saying it at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Roller coaster. Yeah.
Why a roller coaster? Because of the things that you've been through and,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say that we have been through ups and downs. We've been through a lot, and I believe that for us to sit here today and have this interview, is in most cases it was not supposed to be the case, and I kind of feel like we shouldn't be here based on the things that we have went through, and yeah, maybe she can elaborate, but yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, I would say also the fact that if you check on how we started, I feel like foundation is very important.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but so it means that with our foundation, there's a lot that we needed to fix. Then there was also us at the same time, meaning that you will neglect the other part, trying to fix the other one, trying to also prove a point, because we were told so many times, even at church, they said it already, you are wasting your time. You don't know marriage. You're not going to last, you know? People that were supposed to be mentoring us were literally telling us, just drop this thing. You are moving too fast, you know? There was a lot of challenges that we needed to face. And unfortunately, that was not us, because also the fact that when we had to now, we're told that you need to get married officially, we then got into debts for our wedding, because with our wedding, we had to take a loan, you know, after taking a loan. And with that one, it was just after because we had our wedding the same year that my mom died, like just a few months apart. So she died first. And he also had to contribute to my mom's funeral and all that financially. After that, the family is expecting him to take a loan and have a wedding. We didn't want to have a wedding. We just wanted to have a blessing ceremony.
Okay.
But then when family comes together, they're like, no, like you only do this once, just get a white wedding. And we, after our wedding, which we feel was the worst day of our lives, we were left with a loan that we had to pay for more than 5 years, you know? So there's that. And now we are parents again to my brother. He has to go to school. There's no money. Another loan, you know? I feel like we went through so much at such a young age. Sometimes I look at it, I feel like it's a blessing. Maybe we'll probably be making those decisions now that we are older.
Yeah.
Or maybe we would make better decisions now that we are older. But the fact that we got married when we were 19 and 21, I think the foundation was just not it.
Yeah.
And I know you didn't ask this question, but if I was to advise somebody if they should do the same thing that we did, it will be no. Rather do things the right way. Build yourself first. Because if you are not matured, your person is not matured, you make stupid decisions together, you make, everything is just, it's a mess. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you guys get to find your own time? Like, you are a couple, you are married. How do you get to be, okay, you know what, this is Ndivhu, this is Shudu, without being overshadowed by we, us?
I have
don't
my own
think-
time.
When you are watching soccer,
Yeah,
and when you,
that's the time that I know of my
it's
own
not
time.
the only time.
Which other time?
When you go to the toilet every day.
Wow.
You know, there's a quote that I read on Twitter. They said,
Wow.
when men go to the toilet, it's because they want their me time. And I believe it because he goes to the toilet every day. And he spends a long time there.
Wow.
But yeah, with him, it's soccer and the toilet. With me, I don't know. I don't know if I ever have me time.
You always have it.
Ah, when?
Always. Like, we were talking about it the other day, and I was like, I want to watch podcast, I want to read, but I don't have that time. And she said,
when you're watching
I
soccer,
watch.
but it's not by choice.
No,
it's because
but-
I'm alone.
But you normally disappear and go and stay by yourself in the room, even during the day when we. Okay, let me not reveal this one because the
When you're working.
employees will have a problem.
No, but when I disappear, I'm running the other business because I also have a business by myself that I
Okay.
use the phone. So
Okay.
I disappear to that. Even now when they were having their meetings here, I was in the room. So obviously when you work on the phone, when a person comes to the room, they're like, oh, you're chilling here on your phone. But I was working. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure you guys give each other, that time, because you know that before there is
We, there's I.
Yes,
I
there's
don't think we
Ndivhu.
do.
I don't think so. As well.
No, I don't think so.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why I said even when we go buy bread, we buy together. When we go away, we go together.
Okay.
But it does happen from time to time wherein you find yourself having some time. Like she said, she can go out with friends, and unfortunately I have to stay back and work because she's going out on weekends, and I have to be working because the employees are not available on weekend. So
Okay.
I will then have to do the working
But if
part.
you were not working, where would you go?
No, I'll probably watch TV.
You see? You wasn't going to go out.
No, not go out. I don't think I'm a femme believer of going out.
Okay.
I don't think I would go out. It's not in my to-do list.
Oh,
I like my own space, by the way. So that's the thing. I prefer to be by myself if I'm not with.
are you more of an introvert type?
I would say so. I would
Okay.
say so. I don't gel easily. I remember at times I used to go to events at work. Yeah. Oh my God. Worst days of my life.
From the
get
morning, you
you.
will be preparing mentally. Okay.
Yes.
I must arrive first earlier so that when they come there, they greet me. I don't get
Yes.
to greet them
Yeah,
first.
I
You must
understand, Shame.
conversate.
Oh, I suffered. I honestly suffered. I remember we had to go on a, and it happened consecutively. One, I had to go on a conference of some sort in Sun City, and I had to go there for like 4 days. Oh my God. The other one, I had to go for 2 days in Amanskral. It's some lodge or whatever.
This one you made an excuse and you went
Yeah,
a day
I made
later.
an excuse and I went a day later so that I do not get to be part of the whole event. The Sun City one was just too tricky because it was
Distance.
distance. So yeah, but not
Yeah.
me.
But you strike me as a people's person. Like,
I think I am. I think I can talk, right? The thing is I talk a lot.
Okay.
So it's easier for me to talk if people are talking. But if like, hey,
if you have to be the one starting the conversation, it's something else.
It's too much. Like, I think it's also a matter of the discussion that we are having. I think I relate more with one person than being in a group. If I have to talk to one person, I can strike a conversation. But if it's multiple people, I don't gel. I disappear.
I think the environment as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it also counts.
Yeah.
It also counts. Oh, okay. So, what legacy do you hope your relationship leaves behind?
That you can overcome if you are willing to. Any challenge, any whatever that you come across, you can overcome. There's nothing that cannot be fixed if you are willing. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we were there, we did it, and it can be done. I think that's one thing for sure. I think I believe that we are here where we are for a reason, and the experiences that we have went through for a reason. And I believe that had it not been for the Lord, where would we be?
Yeah,
So I want to believe that the reason why we exist is or we existed is so that somebody else can learn from the things that we have done, from the mistakes that we have made, from the positives that we have done. If it's business, to get to see the business coming from the garage, into a multi-million business. So that's and that I'm talking about business in a form of a relationship, that you can run a business that is highly successful as a couple, and making it successful to such an extent that it leaves a legacy as well for the children and other people's families, because we have got employees that we need to look after, and the aim is for them to say that union built my family.
beautiful. Beautiful, guys. Yeah, your love story is very interesting, but I've learned a lot from it.
I hope you learn the good things.
Yeah, the good things, and just the ups and downs of relationships and marriage, and yeah. Thank you guys so much for sharing your journey. Thank you for agreeing to be here.
Yeah.
So
We didn't have a choice though. I'm no longer coming to your studios because
Yeah.
you didn't want to.
What can we do? Like, we don't have a choice.
then, guys. So where to from here?
Building the legacy, as he said.
Yeah.
Everything that we mentioned, I think that is the key thing for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the best, guys. Already, you guys are already doing great.
Thank you.
Just by looking at you guys, so far so good. And yeah, all the best to greater heights.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, guys,
Thank
for
you.
for
Appreciate
coming. And yeah, I don't know if there'll be a next time.
Well, if you think of more questions you want to ask, we are here,
No,
right?
the fact
Yeah.
that I sit here behind the camera, and every time when people are telling their story, the host will say, definitely there should be a part time, please, the part two,
Part
please,
two.
guys. And you are not sure. I'm like, okay, what were we saying? And you must be saying, guys, please, we must have part two. But I'll
Yeah.
ask him. Our story
Yeah.
doesn't have part two, guys.
It doesn't.
It ends
This is
here.
it.
It ends here. Hey, yeah. Plus, the story is, it does not change. It's still the same.
Correct,
And
correct.
yeah. But yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. And yeah, all the best. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you so much.
And thank you guys for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. And maybe you can also share your experiences on marriage and relationships. And if you do have a story that you would like to share with us, please do not hesitate. You can email us, and you can also WhatsApp us your story. The details will be below. And yeah, that's it from us.